Hi, my name's Yasmin and I'm the DM.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shawfort, a goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I play Otto, a spring sage from Hanweir sworn to the land, wandering the plain and setting wrongs to right with his ursine companion, Bojo.
As we left last episode, back on land, the ladies finally reached the tower to tell their troubling and tragic tale, appraising the ageing arcanist and outlining the basic situation at Saltstone, both pre and post their shipping showdown. Exhausted from their exploits, Esther sought escapism in the form of a raunchy romance read, whilst Elora had a lot less luck, with vivid nightmares of drowning on a deck under piles of parchments penned by a golden quill. Whoever said resting should prove restful. As another new day dawned, our seafarers were awoken to the sound of a squillion, screaming seagulls. Otto, like Eric it appeared, was obviously not much of a morning man, and after Murdoch's efforts at flapping and chasing them off had failed, found himself taking to eagle form once more, this time with menace on his mind. Far below, down on the deck, Paul pummeled his pots and pans as only he knew how, creating a desperate and diabolical din, and as the frightened flocks began to fly away, Captain Ogvar was left questioning his life choices. Episode 147, On Turbulent Tides.
Ogvar just sort of sighs, shakes his head, and I don't know how my life's ended up like this, really. I'm not quite sure. And he walks over to Bojo and I suppose Eric as well, if he's up there. And morning all, are we all okay? I assume everyone had a restful night until this point.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Eric, you see he's got like a trail of drool and perhaps some ink, like a word in ink kind of pressed onto his face, but backwards where he's kind of like fallen asleep on the book. He looks the least put together you have ever seen him. He is, he looks shattered. And he kind of looks at you, morning, never been more awake.
Well, that's good to hear, Eric. You look you look sprightly. I trust you're well rested.
I'll leave that up to Paul.
Yes, it looks like the sea air agrees with you. So I'll look around for Paul and just sort of like in his thought process, like, well, he's going to be here in a minute. He's going to appear, so I might as well try and be ready for him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's your very noisy start in the morning. You chase off the seagulls. You get ready for the day. You're going to have to indulge in some rations at this point because, or if Otto wants to do a good berry, you can take another smack at the bananas.
Otto would absolutely be offering anyone there whichever choice of berry that they want to have for breakfast.
Yeah, so I imagine Eric will take you up on that offer, Ogvar. You probably, yeah. So you do a morning round of good berries, and yeah, you start getting ready for the day. Is there anything you want to do before you start setting sail?
I think that Otto would probably almost absentmindedly reach down for the feather in his seed pouch. Obviously, he's not spent any time examining it. It feels like he's almost like a caretaker for it, rather than it being something that belongs to him in any way. He's a little reluctant to think of it in that way, but he'll just pull it out and sort of hold it up to the light and see if there's anything, any sort of sense of anything coming from it. And he might just, while he's holding it up there, just ask himself if Kewin's really maybe in there, or is it just a symbol representing one of Avazin's fallen. Obviously, his own vows are to the land, but maybe Kewin's vows to the angel of somehow even transcends death. Maybe he's somehow in there and trying to do things.
Yeah, you hold the feather up and you feel this very intense divine connection. This divine energy clearly radiating from the feather. Even you're not of the church, but this feels to you like some of the most significant places that you've probably travelled around on Innistrad. This feels, it's got the same kind of aura as those locations. You feel this kind of divine energy, this almost like this focus of it in your hand. And as you hold it up, the morning sun glints off of the feather, and it sparkles this golden light, and you can see again the centre of the kind of the quill is translucent, almost like glass. And the feather is perfect. It is the most perfect feather you have ever seen. And as you kind of twist it to catch the light, you see this golden halo appear around it, twinkling and kind of just kind of giving it this, it exudes this holy aura.
He'll take it in and just take a moment to perhaps appreciate that sense of being close to something divine. Avacyn isn't something that he necessarily feels a strong connection to individually, but he's appreciative, of course, that this is the angel of the land, and the two are connected in some way that far beyond what he can understand. I think what he might do is just have a thought and bring out that little green dreamstone that he's kept close to him, and just compare the two for a moment before then putting them both back in the pouch together. I'll have to think about this as the days go on.
Yeah. The gemstone, it shines prettily in the light, refracting internally, but it doesn't have the same holy aura. It has a magical aura. You can tell this is definitely something interesting, but it is most certainly not a holy aura. Nevertheless, it's pretty, and putting the two of them next to each other, it's quite a charming sight. You've got glittering gold and glittering green, but it's all almost pales in comparison to that of the feathers.
Yeah.
Would Ogvar see this unfolding?
I imagine you would, yeah. Otto's not trying to hide it, he's being quite open about it, and the feather would have 100% attracted your attention.
Yeah, so I imagine Ogvar was sort of watching from like the sidelines, sort of looking at the feather, like sort of just contemplating, like how's Kewin got in there, or just doesn't really understand the process or what's really gone on. But then definitely notices when the little green gem comes out again, and he puts his hand in his pocket, and just as Otto's putting the feather and his gem into his seed pouch, you walk over to Otto with it in the palm of his hand and sort of offer it out to him. I see you have something very similar to what I have. I don't really know what it is. Do you know what yours is?
No. I think of it as a dream stone. It's sometimes I get the most vivid images when I sleep with this close to me. Such as when I first learned of you, actually. I have no real idea what it is. It's another one of the gifts from the land, I think.
How did you come into being in possession of yours?
I was simply napping next to a river, and it caught my eye through in the water. It's not often I feel attracted to anything like this. I've sworn off all possessions for many years now, but it feels like I'm simply someone who needs to keep this until it finds its owner, its real owner.
I see. Mine came to me through Murdoch here. Just points at the raven on his shoulder. When Murdoch found me, he brought it with him. In turn, seemed to gift me with it, and I've had it ever since. So I've tried to figure out what it is, but you seem to know a little more than myself. So
can't say that I know much, I'm afraid.
So I was hoping maybe Jenrick could have told me a little more when he's finished with the decoding. But I don't know. Do they connect in some way? Are they linked, or is there more than two? This has thrown up more questions than it's answered, really.
All very good questions. And Otto will reach around and, being very careful not to damage the feather, bring out the small gem again. Did you want to try?
I don't know what to do. Do you have to put them together?
I have not the faintest idea, my friend, but there is but one way to find out. Shall we? And he'll just hold out in the palm of his hand, offering it.
Okay. Ogvar will gingerly pick it up. Pick it up with his left hand. He's got his own in his right hand, and he's sort of like inspect them both and sort of look at them to see are they the same. Are they cut gems, or are they just like as they come out the ground?
Okay, so I imagine do you have them both in like the palm of your hand together, just looking at them?
I've got them between my index fingers and my thumb, sort of holding up to the light, sort of looking at them.
Okay, so as you bring the gems together in front of you, you can see they are identical. They are perfectly identical. They have the same colour, they have the same depth of colour, the same refraction, the same shape, the same size, the same weight. They are twins. They are identical. I think from previous checks you would know that they haven't been cut. There's no indication, there's no there are no marks to indicate that they have been cut. These are perfectly naturally formed. As you look at them, the sun glinting through them, illuminating them in like an internal kaleidoscope. Ogvar, make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Is that fortitude save?
Yes, sorry, fortitude save.
Yeah. Okay. Oh dear. This could be interesting. Oh, it will be interesting. Well, I rolled a 2 with a 7 unmodified, so that's going to be a 9.
Could be worse.
Okay.
Yeah, it could have been a 1.
Not by much.
Okay, Ogvar, you fall into a trance. Otto, as you stand there looking at Ogvar, it seems like he is frozen in time. He stands perfectly still, his eyes glazed and unfocused, as if seeing something which isn't there. Make me a spot check, please, Otto.
Okay. 7 on the dice, but plus 18 in total, so 25.
Yeah, that'll do it. As you look, he looks normal. That nothing has visually changed about him, except for his rigidity and his seemingly kind of non-registering. He doesn't register anything around him. He doesn't seem to be reacting to any external stimulus. You kind of do the old wave the hand in front of the face. Nothing. What you do notice, however, is you've got a morning sea breeze. You're on the water, you have this sea breeze coming in. It's quite strong this morning. Your hair is, well, what little hair you kind of have left, I'm guessing, is ruffling in the breeze. You can see it ruffling through Bojo's dense fur. Even Paul, who's still on deck, appears to be kind of blown slightly by this breeze. Ogvar's hair remains perfectly still and untouched by the wind.
Well, there's only one thing what Otto would think to do here, and that would be to reach out for one of those gemstones that Ogvar's still hanging on to and try to remove it from his grasp.
As you touch the stone, make me a constitution save, fortitude
I was afraid
save.
of that. A fortitude saving throw, okay. That is a 12 plus 11 for 23.
Okay, yeah. You touch the stone, you go to pull it out of his hand, and it is like it has been welded. It remains within his grasp, even though he's only got it by the forefinger and thumb. You are unable, no matter how much strength you put in it, to move that stone. It will not break free of his grasp, and Ogvar himself does not move, even with all of your efforts. He remains this way. He remains this way for about 5 minutes, you would say.
There is something else Otto would try.
Okay, what are you going to try?
He's going to take hold of one of the gemstones between thumb and forefinger, and do the same on the other side as well, mimicking Ogvar's own way of holding it.
Ooh, interesting. Make me another fortitude save, please.
That is another 12 plus 11, 23.
Yeah, I mean, you take hold of them and it just looks a bit weird. 2 guys stood on a ship holding a couple of gemstones. Bit weird.
Hardly the weirdest thing we've done.
Admittedly.
He'll stay with Ogvar until things change.
Okay, Ogvar. As you look at these gems, you feel your mind slip away. The scenery in front of you, the ship, the waves, the land, the sound of gulls, the sound of the sea, the feeling of the wind and the salt spray on your skin, all disappears. As you blink your eyes, the scene in front of you has changed. You are stood in the middle of a large plain that extends as far as the eye can see. Uninterrupted, just a sea of rich, luscious green grass, which is about waist high. And this feels very real. You can hear wind whistling over, you can see the grass moving, you hear the soft susurrus of the grass just kind of shh in the wind. and there is nothing but grass all around you. It seemingly disappears into a mist as you look out towards where you'd expect the horizon to be. It just disappears into nothingness. And no matter how much you turn, nothing changes. You are startled with the sudden sound of hooves. Make me a knowledge nature check, please, Ogvar.
Okay. So we have 14, 6 plus 8.
Yeah, you very easily recognise this as the sound of a deer. Admittedly a very, very large deer. These are heavy footfalls, long stride. You can tell from, the gap between the hooves falling that this is a large creature.
You've got history with large deer.
Huge deers.
Deary me.
Almost a moose.
Bounding into sight, you see a beautiful jet black heart. And this creature is enormous. It towers over you from foot to the top of its head, not even counting the antlers in. You'd say this creature is probably about 15 foot high. It is humongous. Its fur a sleek, glossy black, with subtle grey markings upon its, kind of hind quarters. It has a pair of humongous black antlers. They almost kind of they've got this kind of velveteen edge. Obviously, they've got velvet on the antlers, but you can see the velvet edge, this very kind of the softening of the antlers, a slight kind of haze around them, almost like someone's kind of blurred them. But they branch massively. They spread wide, and they are wickedly sharp. You can tell just by looking at them that the points of these antlers are sharp. As it bounds past, the creature snorts and stops in its tracks, turning to look at you. As it does, you are greeted with a pair of emerald green, jewel-like eyes. As the creature tosses its head and bounds off, the scene in front of you fades. A blink in your eyes once again, which are stinging something fierce at this point. You are stood back on the deck of the Shattered Moon.
Welcome back. You okay?
Ogvar still stood there holding the gems up in the air. He lowers his hands slightly and goes, yes. That was odd. I'm okay now, thank you. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I looked at the gems and the world seemed to melt away around me, and I found myself somewhere very, very different. I was in a really, really big, wide open grassland, and it seemed to go on forever. I couldn't see the end of it. There was no features, no landmarks to navigate from. It was just vast and empty. And then, no other way to put it, but a really bloody great black deer turned up with big antlers and quite a majestic looking thing. I was a little scared at first, but it came towards me, and then the strange thing was, in place of its eyes, these two gems were there.
Very strange.
Make me a... I want to say insight, but insight isn't a thing. So make me a wisdom check. And what you can do is you can roll this at advantage. So roll twice, take the highest.
Cool.
Sorry, who is this?
Wisdom.
Ogvar?
What's my point?
Ogvar, sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Wisdom. Okay, that's going to be... I rolled a 10 with a modifier of 1, so it's going to be 11, please.
Is that the highest you got?
Yeah, the other one was a 5.
Nuts. Okay.
I'm throwing out all the high numbers tonight.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's that. You don't get anything.
Okay. Brilliant.
And then I sat there trying to think, can I give you anything for that? No, it was a bit shit, really.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, you're shit at D&D. So yeah, Ogvar's explaining this to Otto, and I think he will, as he's saying this, he will just hold out the gem between his thumb and his forefinger for Otto to take back. He doesn't think keeping them together is a very good idea.
Otto is of a similar mind, so he'll gently take that from you and put it back in the pouch.
Ogvar will in turn put his back in his pocket, and so we've ended up with these for one reason or another. I'm not quite sure what that reason is yet, but you're more than welcome to try yourself. But I'm not entirely sure whether you'll see the same or not.
I kind of tried while you were in your trance. I wonder if your vision means perhaps that these belong to the same creature. Maybe it's showing us that we're somehow connected through some beast. I don't know. It is not something that is anything I know of.
Well, I think for now keeping them apart is a good idea.
Yes.
How long was I out for?
About 5 minutes. Long enough.
That's quite a while.
Yes.
Both of you make me a spot check, please.
Okay. Okay. I rolled another 5 with another plus 11, so that's going to be 16.
Okay.
I got an 18 on the dice, plus another 18 for 36.
Yeah, okay, so with that, Ogvar and Otto, as you speak, you notice on the very edge of Ogvar's tunic, stuck to the fabric, a small cluster of grass seeds.
I presume you've not been sleeping in any grassy plains recently, Ogvar. And Otto just reach out and pull the seeds out and put them in his hand. Let's maybe give him a little sniff before he passes them back. These were on your shoulder there.
I've sort of looked around left to right, and no, I don't believe I've been rolling in any grass recently. But I was just in a big grassy field.
Apparently,
not literally, but
apparently you literally may have been. Just in case. Otto's going to briefly pull out that little green gemstone again, and the feather as well, because why not here? And we'll cast Detect Magic and see if the seeds or the feather are magical. I'm expecting the feather to be magical. I'm not expecting the seeds to be, but we'll see.
Well, you cast Detect Magic. The feather is very, very obviously magical in nature. The seeds, however, are not. You do get the feeling from the seeds. Do you? Can you make me a... You see, you can take magic, but that isn't going to count for it. So, I'm going to say, make a knowledge nature check, add all of your modifiers, and then add your casting modifier as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. So casting modifier is wisdom base, that's +5, and he's normally got a +22 to this nature check. So +27 to the dice roll.
Bloody hell.
He only rolled an 8, but that is 35.
What the...
Okay, yeah, I mean that should do it. You take these seeds in hands and cast detect magic. You don't detect any magic from the seeds. But what you do notice, however, is the absence of magic. A bit like background radiation, everything from the land in Innistrad will have a slight trace of magic, because it's filled with Avacyn's presence. You don't get any sense of that trace from these seeds, and it's something that, should you be casting this spell normally, should you be casting this spell, as a sorcerer, as a wizard, as a druid normally, you wouldn't really think about it, because it just is. It's so traced that it's basically indiscernible. But because you're so hyper focused on this, and you've got, the overwhelming presence of this feather, just filled with Avacyn's might, it is very starkly obvious that these seeds, these clusters, there's probably only about 3 seeds. These 3 seeds are devoid of any influence.
Ultra, these I suspect these seeds, maybe wherever you went, there's no magic to them at all. You'll know what I mean. There's no sense of Avacyn. It's as if you were somewhere utterly different. Remember the book that suggested this ship was maybe from another world, another plane. I'm wondering if these seeds are also.
Well, that's something to think on, isn't it? Oh.
Well,
but I didn't leave. I was still stood here, wasn't I? I didn't disappear.
not that I noticed, but you weren't entirely here either. You had no recognition of anything. I put my hand in your face and nothing. Even pinching your skin produced no response. One must assume that your mind, maybe even your soul, went elsewhere. Although that does now concern me, thinking that I've seen certain things with the Streamstone, and I'm wondering if my soul has also travelled. That's... Some of those scenes I wouldn't like to think I was there.
That's it's very odd. It's just... I wonder what Jenrick will make of this. It's all a bit much, really, I must admit. One day you're in a wagon, but you're pulled along by a horse, and then the next you're on a boat, and the boat flies, and then you hold a gem, and you're not even on this plane of existence any longer. It's all moving a little bit quickly for me.
What can I say? You're a special man. For someone, I hope.
I don't know. I think this definitely needs to be brought to the attention of Jenrick and Eric in the near future.
Well, if you finish travelling to other planes, maybe you can make the ship move in his general direction.
I think that would be a very wise choice.
Come on then.
I'll go and find Eric, and well, there you are.
Yes, hello.
Is Eric looking better yet?
He's looking more awake. He's got a drink of, you'd assume he's found like some coffee, and he's found a percolator of some kind in the galley, or perhaps that's Paul if Paul's got a percolator. With probably the response of, "Did you want some coffee?"
Percolator Paul.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's looking a little more alive. Same can't be said for Paul, but Eric is definitely looking a little more alive. He's kind of blinking owlishly at you. This mug in his hand, he's blinking at you, and he's just like, you can tell he's probably been stood there for quite a while, just observing. And just, far too early in the morning for this, I think, Ogvar.
Okay, I agree, but just log it in the old memory bank, and maybe you and Jenrick can get your heads together when we get back to the tower.
Oh, yes.
But for now, should we concentrate on getting the boat moving again?
Yes, log him in the noggin. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Oh.
So, you're going to get the ship going. Who is
Certainly try.
Who is driving? It can't be Paul.
No.
Well, he's the captain. Bloody hell.
I suppose it's going to be me then.
Okay.
Yeah, Ogvar will drive.
So, you can make me a profession sailing check, please.
You've got this.
Okay, let's
You'll
go
be
for
fine.
Oh.
This is where he forgets to remove the anchor, isn't it?
Well, the way my roll's been going tonight.
Yes.
Oh my
Go on,
god!
tell me it's a nat one.
It bloody well is.
Nat one. You couldn't write it, could you?
Oh my god.
That's just
no.
perfect.
Did you have perhaps the luck reroll or something you wanted to use?
I oh god, is he going to help? I will use it, yes. Well,
Quick, eat some mushrooms.
god. Right, let's have the luck reroll.
What is it, 2?
No, it's a 6.
You need some new dice there, Ryan.
Oh, TV, so that would make it a whole 8. Oh, God's sake.
Okay.
You sure you really want me to be captain of this boat?
I am now wondering if we want you in charge of anything with those dice. Maybe we need to give you a new present. That's got to come up with.
Ogvar looks around and everybody else has jumped ship. They're swimming for it.
I think
Okay.
he's still dreaming of this plane of grass and just pretending the ship rolls on it or something.
Yeah. So you're, after a bit of a false start where you try and set sail and the anchor's still down, and you're like, oh shit. Look like a right wanker, but
Oh,
Oh,
you raise the anchor and
she went there.
I did. You raise the anchor and you set sail. It isn't too long, however, before I am going to ask you to make another profession sailing check.
Seeing that
which
he's
dice am I going to use this time?
Seeing that Ogvar is obviously not feeling too confident this morning, is there anything Otto can do to help? Maybe offer some guidance? Or something like that.
How long are your oars?
Don't know, I need wings to deal with this if anything goes wrong, I think.
So you giving him guidance, are you?
Let me just double check, make sure I've got that. Yes, I'm going to offer him some actual guidance and ask the land to save us from, Ogvar, really.
Ask the
Such a cast guidance. Yeah, just a +1.
Okay, so roll for it, Ogvar, with a +1 from guidance as well.
It'll do it.
Okay.
It'll be enough.
I don't want to. I don't want to look. I can't see. Thank
Changing my
God.
dice.
If you break my toy, I'm actually going to be very annoyed.
Okay. It's almost a bit better.
Almost.
Go on.
We rolled a 10
Oh.
with a 2 from sailing and 1 from Otto, which can give me a 13.
Woohoo! Double digits.
I mean, it's good. Double digits is good, but you miss the DC.
Oh no.
So as you round the tip of the coast,
Oh, God.
you sail across some choppier waters. As clearly the wind direction, the wave direction changes, and you are entering into rougher seas. So you've gone from a kind of light seas, you've gone into moderate seas now. The waves toss you about a bit more, the ship creaks more ominously. Perhaps not a structural issue, more kind of a design choice that you're starting to think. But it is tougher sailing. You're not making much headway. You are having trouble kind of balancing the sails, kind of fight. You're fighting the waves. You're trying to, the waves are very much trying to push you onto shore. And although you're far enough out, you are struggling to keep it going. So you will take far longer to get to Jenrick at this rate. So what we will do is we are going to say it will take you approximately 6 hours normally
I may regret
to reach
this,
Jenrick.
but I may have something that can help. So the winds are kind of working against us, yeah?
Yeah, you'd say so. The winds and the waves, definitely.
So the ability to control those winds might help, perhaps. Would that be possible?
It sounds like a fair and logical reasoning.
Uh-oh. That is the death knell right there, isn't it? Okay. So I put this spell in ready in case we needed to go up and there was something coming in there, but yeah, I'm going to cast the 5th level spell Control Winds. Simply to try and get us for the winds to blow us in the right direction, and I'll try and be guided by Ogvar. If it says no, that's wrong, I'm going to try and adjust that a little bit.
Okay, so you are casting the spell.
Yes.
What does that look
The only
like?
thing I can say is, if it goes wrong, we're just going to go wrong like at a higher velocity into things.
That's why I'm worried.
Okay. Love D&D.
So I think Otto is simply going to stand in the middle of the deck, perhaps a little bit behind Ogvar, so you can see it and communicate with him as necessary. Raise his hands and begin swirling them around in order to cast a spell that will give him control over the elements. This affects a huge area. This affects an area 400 feet across, about 40 feet high. It's going to last for nearly 2 hours when he's cast it, an hour and 40. And it allows him to choose a new wind direction and strength while he's concentrating on it.
Okay.
And he can change that by continue to concentrate on it. So he's going to try and use these winds. He's going to try and bring his arms around to try and capture the air as it blows around, and then direct it back into the sails so that we can go, hopefully, in the right direction a bit faster.
Okay, so what speed are you setting the wind at? And I'd like this in kind of, I guess, feet, if possible. Well, actually, no, just tell me what kind of speed you're setting the wind at.
So I'd be looking at about 20 miles an hour, something like that. So pretty stiff winds, but not so much
Pretty
that
quick.
it would cause control of the ship to be a problem.
Okay, so we're going 20 miles per hour. Okay, let me do some quick
Is that fast
math.
for a boat?
That's pretty fast.
I don't know what it is. What's that in knots? I don't know, I'm going to go look that up. Just for curiosity's sake.
Let me do some quick maths here because maths is required.
While you're doing that, Sam, look up why we call them knots. That's quite fascinating. And it all actually ends up with us talking about internet logs. They're all connected.
17.3795 knots. It's 20 miles an hour. So not quite 17 and a half knots.
That's a knotty problem.
There's one for Spencer when he listens. Because he'll be screaming at
He'll be cursing me.
He will be cursing, yeah, because we didn't know what a poop deck was, and we don't know anything in knots. He will not be happy.
Okay, so all I'm going to say is the standard kind of... So how you calculate the speed of a vessel. It's the speed times by a set value. So for this ship, the set value is 20 feet. So you've decided you're going to send it off at 20 miles per hour. Okay?
Yes.
20 miles per hour in feet per hour is 105,600 feet per hour.
Fucking hell, you're going round the earth. It's a slingshot.
That's per hour. That's per hour. It's not too bad. That's not too bad. So now you have to divide it by 360 to work out the feet per round, right?
Yeah.
Slingshot round the tip of Innistrad. Lovely.
So
throw out the anchor. Watch him go round.
600 times by 20. So you are going 2,112,000 feet per hour.
No win. Okay, per hour. Okay, I thought you were about to say per round. It's like, oh my god. So what was
Enterprise.
that? 3,000?
2,112,000 miles an hour. Feet per hour. Rather.
Feet per hour. Okay. So
Feet
dividing
per
that by
hour.
60 minutes, and then dividing that by 60 seconds. Oh, sorry, no, by 10, because you want the rounds. Okay, that is fast. That is a little bit fast. I don't think we'll go quite that fast. That's quite scary.
No, you've already stated it. No.
Okay.
You won't need the arcane workings. It'll fucking take off on its own.
Okay. I will just stress here that I was going purely off of the spell's description, which says 21 miles an hour makes sailing difficult. So I was keeping it just under.
Yeah, you're right. It does make sailing fucking difficult. Okay. Fuck me.
I imagine Ogvar just held on to the back of the railing on the back with his legs trailing out the back in the wind.
I'm going to piss myself in a minute. I need to go to the loo.
Well,
Okay. Give me 1 second. So we're looking at...
when we talk about raising the sails, this wasn't quite what you had in mind, right?
Oh, dear me.
So we're probably looking at going about... Okay, so I'm just pulling up here. Oh, that's a horse. Why
This
is
is
it
worrying.
showing me a horse? Why are you showing me horses? Oh, because there's this horse called Bano War. Boat, not a horse, a boat.
Does anybody want to donate some tenor?
Oh, okay, I'm actually going to go on to Quora and strangle whoever put that. How fast is the average speed of a man of war? Not any faster than the wind itself moved. Thanks, genius. What the fuck?
I learned recently that may not be a correct answer, actually. You can move faster than the wind that pushes you, depending on the angle of your sails.
Okay, so 6.9 to 11.5 miles per hour is about typical. So this is a big ship, so we're going to say 6.9 is about the average. So what did we say that was? I've got to do maths now, and this is not fun. I didn't come to D&D to do maths.
Yeah. Hey, you started this. You wouldn't know how fast I was going.
You gave us the boat.
Hey,
Who invented that
absolutely.
spell?
Oh, that's a Gary Gygax original, that is. Maybe Dave Arneson.
Yeah, I think you should raise a fucking complaint and send it in that direction.
Per hour. Okay, so that comes
Actually,
out
you're probably
to
able to tell him as you go past.
2 feet per hour, and I need my calculator again. I'm thinking the DC is going to be quite high for this.
Oh, God.
So 3, 6, 4, 3, 2 times by 20 is the lesser speed of 728,640 feet per hour. Divide that by 60, divide that by 10. Is only 1,214.4 feet per round.
Almost.
Per round?
Right.
Which is still, this doesn't seem right.
What, in 6 seconds?
Yeah.
I think you should throw it over to the podcast listeners and let somebody else work it out.
This
my
doesn't
God.
seem right.
Answers on a postcard.
Right, I'm changing these numbers because this isn't right.
What zip code do you live in? Oh, all of them apparently.
I think that I can avoid all of the trauma of this by suggesting that the winds would go down, would be blowing a lot less strongly in 6 seconds rather than as soon as he feels that hit the ship.
Okay, so that's better. That's 1760.
Wouldn't it just be easier if somebody just farted, eat a few more bananas?
4, 3, 2. I don't want to know what your digestive system is doing with bananas. If you're farting out chocolate.
Oh, she does other things with bananas. Let's not go there.
Oh.
Okay, so this is okay. So I've adjusted it down because it's saying 20 feet is about average. It's a big ship. We're adjusting that down to 10 foot. So that leaves it with those calculations. You're sending it off at 1,760 feet per second. It would normally
Per
go
second or per round?
Per round, sorry.
Okay.
It would usually go at 607.2 feet per round. It's a big ship, okay? And these are, if you're putting 20 miles an hour onto this speed, that's quite significant. So now I've got to do more maths.
Do you know what? This is one of those situations where I think that the DM should just use fiat and ditch the fucking numbers and just make it up as you go along.
I'm literally about to. So what I'm going to say, on average, at 607.2 feet per whatever it is, an average speed, that's going to equate to about 6 hours of travel, which is half a day's travel, which is what you had left to go through, right? If you're bumping that up to 1,760, which is more than double the speed, I'm going to say you can do this in 2.5 hours, but you're going to have to make me at least 2 checks at a very high DC.
Oh God.
To avoid being sent off course or careening out of control.
Elora was having trouble sleeping. She's gone back to sleep.
So, I'm going to have you both... You're both in on this. You are as bad as each other at this point. You can both roll me a profession sailing check. I'm not going to give you any negatives, even though I should, because this was a fucking stupid idea.
I'm so glad I went back by horse.
So you're both going to make me 2 checks at a DC of... We're going to use the DC for sailing in heavy seas, so it's going to be a DC 25 check.
Bloody hell!
I don't think that's
can't
going to make it, is it?
I can't make it.
Because I'm not steering the ship, I'm only pushing the wind and the sails and I'm steering it that way. Can I make an argument for using a nature check to do the same thing? Given that is the basis of my magic.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, look, it's Peter. Yeah, I can try this. I mean, you're referring to diplomacy, I'm guessing.
Diplomacy,
of thing.
Diplomacy.
It's not.
Say diplomacy.
I only rolled an 8 on the dice, but Otto has a plus. Don't tell anyone. 20. So it's a 28.
Hell.
Okay, Otto breaks the fourth wall, pleads his case directly to the DM. And you can use a knowledge nature check. I'll let you use that. I am going to say that DC is very high for you, Ryan. But we're going to go with it anyways because someone decided to put a 20 mile an hour wind up the sails. So it is.
It wasn't Ogvar though, was it?
No. But we're going to take whoever's highest.
Okay.
So tell you what we'll do, make this a bit fairer. We'll take whoever's highest on the rolls and add Otto's nature bonuses to it. Okay?
Oh, okay, that's doable.
Okay, so you can both roll me your first d20.
So this is profession sailing. Okay. I'm curious what Ogvar gets here, but mine's not bad.
Okay.
Mine are improving. Ever so slightly.
Is it 1 by 1?
My friend.
It literally is, it's an 11.
I've got a 16 on the dice.
Okay.
Plus 6 from profession, so 22.
Okay.
Fuck me, I'm giving
And
Ogvar a different d20.
because you remember you were persuaded by this, plus the nature bonus of plus 22, which would give a 44 in total.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so what I will say is you're using your nature bonus instead of your sailing, profession
Yes.
sailing. Okay.
That's okay. That's only 38 then.
Only 38. Yeah, okay. You survive the first hour and 25 of travel. Hour and 15 of travel.
It's a white knuckle ride.
Next round. The ship will be taking some damage from this, I do hope you understand.
That's
Next round.
totally understandable.
Oh, we rolling again, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, Sam.
I got a lower number this time. I hope you did better.
No, well, I used Sam's dice under her behest, and I did exactly the same as what I did last time. I got an 11.
Oh, he's cursed him. There we go. It's sorted. It's cursed him.
That's it.
I luckily only got one lower, so I still achieved 15 plus 22, 37. I have these images of a very anime-esque Otto standing behind the ship, arms upraised, just pushing the sails forward, while Ogvar frantically tries to spin the wheel and I hope it'll do anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the whole way there. Otto's doing all the work, like really trying hard to get it all straight, more blowing the ship round corners and stuff like that. And Ogvar's he's turning the wheel the wrong way. He's not looking where he's going. I think I'll get the hang of this now.
Yeah, it is by sheer chance and quite possibly the collision avoidance system, where you do come off the sea surface a couple of times as you do dip into some places which are too shallow for the draft. You get this kind of little red warning light, and you feel the ship kind of take air.
Warning light.
At which point the wind catches it, and you go like, whoo, 25-degree angle upwards before crashing back down into the waves. It is a wild and scary ride. So let's see.
I have these images of Paul arriving about 6 hours later, floating slowly across the surface of the waves, having been left behind.
The boat's going up and down, and Paul's just he's going through the decks.
He's only just tidied the galley up, hasn't he? There's going to be pots and pans everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So you will make it to your destination somehow. The ship has taken damage. One of your main sails has a large rip down the centre.
I can fix it.
Cracking.
So it hangs flabby and loose. The rest of the ship is in a state of disarray. I mean, you don't want to go into the kitchen because that is probably horrendous. You imagine the treasure room downstairs is also horrendously disorganised now. Nothing would have broken, but it would be horrendously disorganised. Yep.
Can I ask at this point, did anybody, I mean obviously Laura's not there, but just from a point of reference, did anybody actually throw the dead bodies from the things in the mephits in the kitchen overboard, or are they just rolling around in the galley?
No, they disappeared, if you remember.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Okay. The puppy, the hellhound puppy, is being...
Sick.
Violently sick.
I want everyone on the ship, so Eric, Ogvar, Otto, the puppy is a lost cause, and Bojo, to all make me a fortitude saving throw.
Somebody's going to be running around with a fire extinguisher, putting out lots of little fires out there.
Oh God. Okay. Laura, how would you say? I'm going to do a good roll eventually. An 11 again.
Oh my God!
It wasn't today.
You were talking about the law of averages, right?
Burn these dice.
Okay. Fine.
Oh God.
That's not as bad as I thought.
Okay, throw them at me.
So Otto has rolled a 12 plus 11 is 23. Bojo has a 15 plus 11, so 26.
Okay, so Otto and Bojo, you're both fine. Bojo is not happy.
No, I
Bojo is
would need to
very
apologise to
not happy.
Bojo in a bit.
Ogvar.
Ogvar rolled an 11 with plus 7 to it, making an 18.
You are feeling incredibly queasy, but despite the fact you get the you keep it down. You keep it down and you keep it together. Eric, he is not having a good time. He is clutching onto the side of the ship for dear life. You can see he's kind of wound a leg through to kind of keep himself anchored. And he is half bent over as the ship is skidding across the waves, wildly out of control. And violently, he is leaving a puke comet behind him. It's got like that kind of burning off tail of vomit. He is being violently sick. His coffee has come back up. He's not looking good. The hellhound puppy is skidding around deck. I mean, it's being thrown from one wall to the other, and it is leaving a trail of sulfuric smelling vomit puddles around the deck as well. It's not a good time for any of your passengers.
It's going to look like those fire trails that they had on Back to the Future when the car disappeared.
Just on the water.
And you do indeed see Paul just kind of stationary, floating along with the ship, but just dipping in between the deck. I mean, as you bring it off the waves and like properly kind of get it going, he almost goes out at the bottom of the ship and then comes back up through the top. As you kind of crash back down and you dip under, he kind of floats a good 20 foot up in the air, and and it's clearly like he's obviously doing something in the kitchen because his hands are in a motion like he's cooking or something, but clearly from the clanging as he's come up through the deck, the pans haven't come with him and they've just hit the ceiling. So that is your hellish journey back to Jenrick's tower.
Otto wants to do it again.
I quite imagine that Esther and Elora, should you look out the window, you would see the ship come blazing in. So one of the sails tattered to pieces. It is doing like, if it was a bike, it would be doing a wheelie. Like the back end is down, the front end is up, and it comes crashing.
It'd be a fucking handbrake parking job.
Yeah, I imagine Otto, as you see the shore approaching, you cut the wind and it comes crashing back down and just kind of like, if your ship could drift, it does drift, it drifts into the bay. The water cuts up, you see as it meets that resistance of the water, it tilts dangerously before kind of righting itself. You see Murdoch in the top of the crow's nest, he's somehow managed to stay there, but as he tilts and it comes back up, he almost gets catapulted off the top, he takes the wing, squawking, clearly incredibly pissed off. As it all begins to settle back down, and it is the wildest ride you've ever seen, and Elora, it is a sight. You see this ginormous black ship just careening into the bay.
What time would this be?
Well, I was going to say it should have taken 6 hours, so it should have put you around midday. As it is, this is about mid-morning. So you're probably stood there looking out the window wondering, I wonder when they're going to come back, cup of coffee in hand, and you just see ship coming in hot.
Fucking handbrake turn into the parking space, into the docking bay. Yeah.
I mean, you can almost see, even though you're up on the cliffs and you're very high up, you can almost see Eric folded in half over the side of the ship, and it is like this proper kind of censored rainbow vomit coming down. It's fully censored bleh, down the side of the ship.
unicorn vomit. Lovely.
Yeah,
I think
and
so.
do that.
I think I'll will press the button and the anchor will go down.
You shut.
You turn around to everyone and go, I think that went better than anyone could have expected.
I think Otto will have a big grin on his face and just walk up to him. Yeah. Should we do that again later?
I think I'm getting the hang of it now.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine what Elora's going to say when we tell her what we did?
Oh,
Elora's
just wait till I fly it.
Oh yeah. Gotta try that.
Elora's staring out the window. She's got closer and closer and closer to this pane of glass, to the point where her nose is squashed onto it, and there's like breath actually obscuring her vision from what she's just witnessed.
Yeah, it was a ride and a half. Eric is still recovering. The puppy is, we're not going to talk about the puppy. There were trails of sulphuric orange vomit all over the place, slowly hardening onto the deck as the lava cools off and turns into stone. Bojo is not happy.
Unhappy.
He's incredibly unhappy.
I could just imagine these two idiots congratulating each other and Bojo just wandering up and looming over the pair of them. I understand. I know I should have said something. I'm sorry. I would like to say that I'm not going to do it again, but I can't make that promise. That was really fun, wasn't it? And he'd just turn around and just give an apologetic hug to the huge bear.
Yeah, he's looking like he is actually contemplating having a bit of a chew on you.
No cuddles though.
I'm also going to say at this point that Rowan is actually hanging upside down, looking through the window in the same way. He's just motionless, but he's hanging upside down, looking through one of the top panes of window.
Yeah, I imagine Esther probably comes to join you. Oh, bugger me!
Did
you just see that?
I did.
What the fuck? That's all she's got to say, quite literally.
Do you think we can get some people to pay for those rides? That could be quite fun.
Possibly, yes. Not that I really need to, but is there a way? Is there like a magical, audible way of announcing our arrival?
Ooh.
I.e., foghorn.
Yes, it was a load of screaming, I believe.
Yeah, I think the screaming would have done it.
Everybody had their arms in the air and going, scream if you want to go faster.
Okay, so give me a 10% increment, Ogvar.
30 to 40.
Oh, that's not going to work. That's a D12. Hang on.
Oh my god. You have to paint the boat red and put a big white stripe down the side of it.
Okay,
Like the General Lee or something.
with an 84, you'd say there probably is, but you haven't discovered that function yet.
Okay.
And what I would do, because that was fucking hilarious, both Ryan and Rick, you will both get a re-roll opportunity to use at some point in the future.
Oh, I'll take it. Awesome.
For the next time he uses that spell.
Yeah, I'll keep that for my next excursion in the boat.
And I think that is quite possibly a suitable point to finish the session.
Oh, you think?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That was fun.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That was so funny. Ogvar had finally engaged Otto on the subject of their matching small green gems, and upon closely perusing the pair, light filtered through their natural facets, producing the most peculiar and profound effect. A little later, in a moment of motivation to make haste, Otto offered a helping hand in the form of a little offshore breeze. Unfortunately for the crew, the course of his castings devolved into a serious bout of bad wind, resulting in a calculatory crisis for the DM and a subsequent chaos for our captain afloat, whom somehow managed some masterful manhandling of the man of war in the madness that followed. For which we genuinely have no words. Well, at least none that would be deemed as acceptable in more affluent society circles anyway. So, until next week, folks, we thank you for being with us aboard our Vomit Comet and bid you adieu. Hey, you made it this far, so lend us your ears for a moment longer if you will. Firstly, we are most humbled that you are enjoying our yarn, and the crew thank you from the bottom of their hearts for your patronage. Producing this podcast is incredibly hard work, and as such, if you would like to support us, there are a few ways in which you could really make a difference. Sharing links to friends and family helps to spread the word so others like you can find us, and in turn they too can enjoy the show. Equally helpful is leaving a 5-star review on Spotify and any other streaming services, which will help us immensely. Or, if you feel you could go that extra mile and contribute a few coppers to keep our creative juices flowing, you can hop on over to our Buy Me a Coffee page or drop us an email. We would all be immensely grateful for your support in any form. Lastly, we invite you to visit our website, where you will find information on our campaign from backstories to settings. Join our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter. All the links are in our episode bios. Don't forget to smash the subscribe and download buttons so you never miss the next episode. See you all again next week, folks.